Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. If you're a coin collector, a history lover, or just someone curious about valuable coins that could be sitting in your pocket change, you've come to the right place. Today, we're diving into the story of the 1956 D-Wheat penny. This coin has sparked attention all over the internet, with claims that one of them sold for a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Is it true? Is there actually a 1956 D penny out there worth that kind of money? Or is this just another internet myth? Let's break it all down. The history, the coin's actual value, what makes some of them valuable, and what you should be looking for if you want to know if your penny is rare. Let's start with the basics. The 1956 D-Wheat penny was minted at the Denver Mint and features the classic Lincoln wheat design. On the front, you have Abraham Lincoln facing right. Behind him, the word Liberty. In front of him, the motto "In God We Trust." And below the portrait is the date 1956, with a small D mint mark just under it to indicate it was minted in Denver. This design was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first time a real person appeared on a circulating U.S. coin. The reverse side features two wheat stalks curving along the sides and the words 1 cent and United States of America in the center. This iconic design was used until 1958, making the 1956 D one of the final years of the beloved wheat penny era. Now, let's talk about how many were made. In 1956, the Denver Mint struck more than 1 billion pennies, specifically over 1,074 million. That's a massive number, and it tells us one important thing right away. This coin, in general, is not rare. So if it's not rare by mintage numbers, why are some people saying it's worth over $1 million? Here's the real story. Most 1956 D-Wheat pennies in circulated condition are worth just a few cents. Even though they're old, they were made in such huge quantities that they're still pretty common today. In average circulated condition, they typically sell for between 3 cents and 20 cents. But as with all coins, the value goes up based on two things: condition and rarity of specific varieties or errors. Let's talk about condition first. Uncirculated 1956 D pennies, the ones that were never used and still have their original red copper color and luster, can be worth more. If your coin is graded as MS65 red or better, it can be worth $20, $50, or even a few $100s depending on how flawless it is. The very best examples, graded MS67 or higher by services like PCGS or NGC, have sold for over $1,000 at auction. So yes, even without an error, the top quality examples can bring in serious money. Now let's get into what really excites collectors. Mint errors and rare varieties point. One of the key things collectors look for in the 1956 D penny is what's called an RPM, which stands for repunched mint mark. This happens when the D mint mark was punched into the die more than once in slightly different positions. In the 1950s, minting was still a manual process, and small mistakes like this were surprisingly common. Some of these repunched mint marks are subtle. Others are dramatic and visible with just a magnifying glass. A strong RPM on a 1956 D penny in uncirculated condition can bring in a few $100s or more, depending on how bold the error is and what condition the coin is in. Another type of error to watch for is a doubled die. Although a true doubled die is not officially recognized for the 1956 D penny like it is for the famous 1955 version, some collectors still report minor doubling on parts of the design. These are usually not as valuable, but they can be worth more than face value to the right buyer. Then there are off-center strikes, die cracks, and clipped planchets. These are rare but possible in any year, and if your 1956 D penny has an obvious mint error like that, it could be worth significantly more. So where does the $1.7 million story come in? The internet loves to create buzz, and over the past few years, dozens of videos and articles have claimed that a 1956 D-Wheat penny sold for $1.7 million. The problem is there's no actual proof of this sale. No auction house has confirmed it. No grading company has documented such a transaction. And none of the major coin price guides list any 1956 D penny anywhere near that kind of value. So most likely, this claim is either misinformation, an exaggerated estimate, or complete fiction. There is no known 1956 D-Wheat penny that has sold for $1.7 million. However, that doesn't mean you should ignore the coin altogether. Because here's the truth. While most 1956 D-Wheat pennies are common and inexpensive, the rare high-grade examples, or those with dramatic mint errors, can be worth hundreds, even thousands, of dollars. And best of all, they're still out there. In old coin jars, in inherited collections, in bank rolls, and yes, even in pocket change. So what should you do if you have a 1956 D penny at home? First, look at the condition. Does it still have a bright red color? Are the details sharp? That's a good sign. Second, look closely at the D mint mark. If it looks like it was stamped more than once or appears doubled, you may have a repunched mint mark. Third, check the overall coin for anything unusual, doubling, off-center strike, cracks, or planchet clips. And most importantly, never clean your coins. Cleaning can destroy a coin's value instantly. If you think you have something special, take it to a coin dealer, or better yet, send it to a professional grading service for evaluation. At the end of the day, the 1956 D-Wheat penny may not be worth $1.7 million, but it is still a coin with value, history, and potential, especially if you know what to look for. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into rare coins, valuable errors, and hidden treasures from American history. Drop a comment below and let us know if you've ever found a 1956 D penny or another rare wheat penny in your collection. Until next time, keep hunting, stay curious, and happy collecting. Let me know if you want help writing the YouTube title, description, and video tags to go with this script. Those can really help your video get discovered. Welcome back to the channel, Rarest Coins. If you're into coin collecting, rare finds, or just love stories about valuable treasures hiding in plain sight, you're going to love today's topic. We're talking about the 1951 D-Wheat penny, one of the most talked about coins in recent years, with wild claims that one of these humble little copper coins could be worth as much as $1.9 million. Yes, you heard that right. Almost $2 million for a penny. But is there any truth to it? What is the real history and value of the 1951 D-Wheat penny? And could you have a small fortune sitting in your pocket change? Let's find out. Let's start with a little background on the wheat penny itself. The Lincoln wheat penny was first minted in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, and its designer, Victor David Brenner, created an iconic portrait of Lincoln that remains on the penny to this day. The wheat reverse design was used from 1909 until 1958, making wheat pennies a favorite for collectors because they're historic, simple, and surprisingly affordable for beginners, with a few major exceptions. Now let's talk about the 1951 D. This coin was minted in Denver, and the D mint mark can be found just below the date on the front of the coin. In total, over 625 million 1951 D pennies were struck. That means this is not a rare coin by mintage numbers alone. In circulated condition, most of these coins are worth between 3 cents and 25 cents. But of course, that's not the whole story. Just because a coin isn't rare in quantity doesn't mean it can't be valuable. What matters most in the coin world is condition, grade, and any unique errors or varieties that make a specific example stand out. And that's exactly where the 1951 D gets interesting. So how do you find out if your 1951 D-Wheat penny is worth big money? Let's break it down. First, grading. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with mint state grades ranging from MS60 up to MS70. A 1951 D penny in circulated condition will have wear and scratches, so it won't bring in much. But a coin in uncirculated condition, especially if it still has its original red color and full luster, can be worth much more. For example, a 1951 D in MS65 red can sell for over $100. In MS67 red, that same coin could bring in $400 to $600 or more at auction. Some examples in top condition have even pushed past $1,000. But here's where the real excitement comes in: error coins. Some 1951 D-Wheat pennies were struck with minting mistakes, and collectors love these. One of the most sought-after varieties is the repunched mint mark. That's when the D mint mark was stamped more than once in slightly different positions. These are known as RPMs, repunched mint marks. and some of them are very dramatic and easy to see with a magnifying glass. A 1951 D with a strong RPM and high grade can sell for several $100s. Then you have off-center strikes, clip planchets, die cracks, and double dies. If you find a 1951 D penny that's struck way off-center or has an obvious doubling in the lettering or date, you could be looking at a rare and valuable error worth far more than the average coin. These coins get snapped up quickly by collectors who specialize in errors and varieties. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. That huge number. The internet rumor that a 1951 D wheat penny sold for $1.9 million. You may have seen flashy headlines or videos claiming that someone found a penny in their change jar and it turned out to be worth nearly $2 million. Sounds amazing, right? Unfortunately, the truth is this. As of now, there is no official auction record or certified sale confirming a 1951 D penny ever selling for anything close to $1.9 million. The most valuable Lincoln cents that have sold for over $1 million are usually extremely rare coins like the 1943 copper penny or the 1909 SVDB in perfect condition. So, while the 1951 D can be valuable, especially in top grade or with rare errors, it is not a $1 million coin. So why do these stories pop up? Most of the time, they're misunderstandings, exaggerated headlines, or completely made-up content designed to get clicks. That doesn't mean your 1951 D penny is worthless. Far from it. It just means you need to be realistic and informed when evaluating your coins. If you think you have something special, the best thing to do is compare it to certified examples, check the value guides, and if it looks promising, send it in to be graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Here's a quick checklist if you have a 1951 D wheat penny at home. Number 1. Check the condition. Is it shiny with original red color? That's a good sign. Number 2. Look at the mint mark. Is it clean or does it look like it was stamped more than once? You might have an RPM. Number 3. Look for anything unusual in the lettering, date, or design. Any doubling, damage, or off-center strikes might indicate an error. Finally, if you're still unsure, consider having it evaluated by a reputable coin dealer or getting it graded. So, while the chances of having a $1.9 million penny are basically zero, the odds of owning a valuable piece of American history are actually pretty high. And that's the fun part of collecting coins. You never know what you might find in your change, in a roll of pennies, or even in a drawer at home. The 1951 D wheat penny is more than just an old coin. It's a piece of history, a collector favorite, and sometimes, if you're lucky, a ticket to a few hundred or even a few $1,000s. Keep your eyes open, your coins clean, and your curiosity sharp. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, give it a like and hit that subscribe button for more coin collecting tips, stories, and hidden treasures from history. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare penny or if you think you've got a 1951 D worth grading. Until next time, happy hunting and keep collecting. Would you like help with a title, thumbnail idea, or description for this video? I can write those next. Welcome back to the Rarest Coins. If you're a fan of coin collecting, rare finds, or you're just curious about the value of the old pennies lying around your house, you're in the right place. Today we're talking about one of the most searched for coins online, the 1950 D wheat penny. There are headlines and videos claiming this penny could be worth a staggering $1.6 million. But is that real? Could one of the most common pennies from the 1950s really be worth that kind of money? In this video, we're going to explore the full story behind the 1950 D wheat penny. We'll cover its history, its actual value, the rare varieties to look out for, and we'll separate the facts from the myths. So grab your change jar, and let's see if that 1950 D penny you've got is actually a hidden treasure. First, let's go back in time. The wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln wheat cent, was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. The design, created by Victor David Brenner, features Lincoln on the front and two wheat stalks curving around the words 1 cent on the reverse. This design was used until 1958 and is still one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history. Now, let's talk about the 1950 D specifically. The D stands for the Denver Mint, where this coin was struck. In 1950, the Denver Mint produced just over 334 million Lincoln cents. That's a big number. So from a mintage perspective, this coin isn't rare. In fact, it's pretty common. You can still find 1950 D-wheat pennies in circulation in old piggy banks or inside inherited collections that are in circulated condition. Most 1950 D pennies are worth between 3 cents and 20 cents. Not exactly retirement money. So where does the rumor about a $1.6 million version come from? Before we answer that, let's talk about what really drives up the value of a coin. There are three main factors: condition, rarity, and errors. Let's start with condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. A grade of MS-60 or higher means the coin is in uncirculated condition. MS stands for mint state. A 1950 D penny in MS-65 red, meaning it has full original red color and no signs of wear, can be worth anywhere from $30 to over $100. In MS-67 red, which is near perfect, that same coin can sell for several $100s or more. Some of the finest examples ever graded have sold for over $1,000 at auction. So yes, if you have a flawless 1950 D-wheat penny, it can definitely be worth good money. But that's not where the huge numbers come in. The real value spikes happen when you add in mint errors and rare varieties. One of the most valuable varieties for the 1950 D-wheat penny is the repunched mint mark, or RPM. This happens when the D mint mark was stamped more than once in slightly different positions, which was a fairly common error back in the day. Some of these RPMs are so strong that you can see the doubling with the naked eye or with a basic magnifying glass. These varieties are listed in coin catalogs and are popular with collectors. If your 1950 D has a strong RPM and is in uncirculated condition, you could be looking at a coin worth a few $100s or more, depending on the grade. Another thing to look out for is a doubled die. Although the 1950 D doesn't have a famously known double die like the 1955 penny does, it's always smart to look closely at the date and lettering. Any strong doubling can increase the value dramatically, especially if it's certified by a reputable grading service. Now let's address the big question. Is it true that a 1950 D-wheat penny sold for $1.6 million? This is where things get interesting. Over the last few years, stories have circulated across social media, websites, and YouTube claiming that a 1950 D penny was sold at auction for $1.6 million. These headlines grab attention and sound incredible. But when you dig deeper, there's no verified record of any 1950 D penny selling for anything close to that amount. There is no official auction from Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or any other top auction house confirming a $1.6 million sale for this coin. None of the major grading companies like PCGS or NGC have documented a coin of that type reaching that price. That's almost likely. This million-dollar claim is internet hype. It might be a mistake, a mix-up with another coin, or just an exaggerated story that went viral. Could a 1950 D penny ever be worth that much in the future? Only if it's an undiscovered, one-of-a-kind error that turns out to be unique in history. But for now, that story is not backed by any facts. That said, the 1950 D is still a great collector's coin. It's affordable, historical, and still carries value, especially in high-grade or with error varieties. If you're just getting started in collecting, the 1950 D is a perfect coin to study. And if you happen to find one in exceptional condition or with a rare minting flaw, you could be looking at a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So here's what to do if you have a 1950 D-wheat penny at home. First, check the condition. The more original red luster and fewer scratches it has, the better. Second, grab a magnifier and take a close look at the D mint mark. If it looks doubled, shifted, or unusual, you might have a repunched mint mark variety. Third, compare your coin to images from reputable coin guides and error listings. And finally, if you think you have something special, don't clean the coin. That can ruin its value instantly. Instead, have it checked by a professional coin dealer or send it in for grading. To sum it up, while the 1950 D-wheat penny is not worth $1.6 million, it can still be a valuable and exciting find. Whether you're a serious collector or just starting out, it's a coin worth looking for, and it might even lead you to other rare treasures. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1950 D-wheat penny, give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more videos on rare coins, collecting tips, and amazing discoveries from American history. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a cool wheat penny in your change or collection. And remember, even the smallest coin can hold a big story. See you in the next video, and happy hunting. Would you like help writing a catchy title, video description, or tag list to help this video reach a wider audience on YouTube? I can assist with that next. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we talk all about rare coins, historic currency, and the hidden gems you might already have sitting in your house right now. And today's coin is one that has sparked a lot of buzz, excitement, and even rumors of multi-million-dollar sales. That's right, we're talking about the legendary 1955 wheat penny. Now some people say the 1955 wheat penny is worth $1.8 million. Others say it's just a regular old cent. So what's the truth? Is there actually a 1955 penny out there worth nearly $2 million? And what should you be looking for in your pocket change? Let's dig into the real story, the value, and the fascinating history of the 1955 wheat penny. To start, the 1955 Lincoln wheat penny was minted during a time when America was booming post-World War II. It still featured the original design by Victor David Brenner. That's the classic image of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the two wheat stalks on the back. The wheat design had been used since 1909 and was replaced a few years later in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial reverse. So the 1955 wheat penny is one of the last years of that original wheat design, and collectors love it for that reason alone. Now in terms of production, there were more than 330 million pennies minted in Philadelphia in 1955. There were also millions more minted in Denver and San Francisco, but when we talk about the 1955 penny and all the excitement around it, we are mostly talking about the Philadelphia coin. So what makes this year so special? Why do people claim this coin could be worth nearly $2 million? It all comes down to one very specific and very famous error coin. The 1955 double D, in 1955. During the minting process at the Philadelphia Mint, something went wrong. A small number of penny dies were accidentally manufactured with a doubling effect. That means when coins were struck using that die, the images and letters on the coin appeared doubled, especially the words Liberty and In God We Trust, as well as the date itself. The result was a striking and obvious doubling that you don't need a microscope to see. The error was so bold and clear that it instantly caught the attention of the public. And here's where it gets even more interesting. These error coins were not caught by the mint. They were released into circulation and ended up in people's hands. It's believed that around 20 to 24,000 of these doubled die pennies made it into the public before the issue was discovered. These error pennies quickly became legendary. Collectors scrambled to find them. Coin dealers raised their prices. And over the decades, the 1955 double die has become one of the most well-known and most sought-after error coins in American numismatic history. Now let's talk about value. A regular 1955 wheat penny that does not have the doubling is not very rare. If it has been in circulation, it's usually worth between 3 and 20 cents. In uncirculated condition, a regular 1955 penny might be worth a few dollars to maybe $10 or $20 depending on its color and grade. But the story is completely different when we're talking about the 1955 double die, that if you find a genuine 1955 double die in decent condition, it can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. One in extremely fine condition could sell for over $2,000. If you have one in uncirculated condition with original red coloring and no damage, you're looking at anywhere from $5,000 to over $15,000 depending on the grade. Some of the highest graded 1955 double die pennies have sold for huge amounts at auction. One PCGS graded example in mint state red sold for over $100,000. There have even been examples that pushed close to $125,000. But what about that number we keep hearing, $1.8 million? Is it true? Did a 1955 penny really sell for that much? Here's the honest truth. As of now, there is no official record of any 1955 penny ever selling for $1.8 million. There is no verified auction from Heritage, PCGS, or any other reputable source that supports that claim. So where does the number come from? Most likely, it's internet hype. Over the last few years, websites and social media videos have started spreading exaggerated headlines saying things like 1955 penny worth 1.8 million found or this penny is worth millions. These titles are great for grabbing attention, but they don't always come with facts. They're often based on misunderstandings, misidentifications, or pure fiction. That said, could a 1955 double die penny ever be worth close to that much in the future? Maybe, if it's an absolutely perfect example in flawless condition and becomes one of the finest known. But for now, the $1 million value is just a myth. Still, don't let that discourage you. If you find a 1955 penny with clear doubling, you could be holding something worth thousands of dollars. And that's still life-changing for a 1-cent coin. Oh, how do you know if you have the real deal? Here's what to look for. First, check the date. If the numbers look doubled or blurry, especially the 1955, that's a strong clue. Next, look at the words Liberty and In God We Trust. If you see a strong doubling effect on those letters, you might have something valuable. Compare it to certified images of known examples online. And if it looks promising, don't clean it. Never clean a coin. That can ruin its value. Instead, get it authenticated and graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Even if you don't find the famous double die, 1955 wheat pennies are a great reminder of how small details can turn ordinary objects into collector treasures. They're part of history, they're fun to hunt for, and who knows? Maybe you'll be the next person to find a rare one hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more stories about rare coins, collecting tips, and unbelievable finds. Drop a comment below and let us know if you've ever come across a 1955 penny or any rare wheat penny. And remember, every coin tells a story, sometimes a very valuable one. See you in the next video, and happy hunting. If you'd like, I can also help you write a compelling YouTube title, description, and tags for this video to boost your views. Just let me know.